You know, when you look at an egg, have you ever really stopped to think about what's going on inside? I mean, it's one of nature's most perfect creations. Today, we're going to take that entire 21-day journey and see how a tiny miracle happens in just a few minutes. So how does it all work? Let's crack open the mystery.
Well, okay. This is actually the end result. An impossibly fluffy, brand new chick. This is where our story finishes. But you know what? It's the perfect place to start. It really makes you appreciate the incredible transformation that leads to this moment.
And that's the big question, isn't it? How does this seemingly simple object, contain everything it needs to build a living, breathing creature completely from scratch, and do it all in just 3 weeks? Let's find out.
Okay, so to really get the journey, first we've got to understand the vehicle. See, the egg isn't just a shell, it's an entire world perfectly engineered for life.
Think of it like a tiny organic spaceship. Seriously, the shell is the hull protecting it from the outside. The yolk, that's the fuel and the entire food supply. And the egg white, the albumin, that provides protein and even more protection. Everything the embryo needs for its 21-day mission is packed inside from day one. But for that little life support system to actually work, the environment on the outside has to be perfect. These are the 5 golden rules of incubation. Temperature is what drives development. Turning is crucial so the embryo doesn't stick to the shell. Humidity manages its water. And of course, it needs fresh air and a clean space. Get even one of these wrong, and the whole delicate process can just fail.
Now, what comes out of that egg totally depends on the species. Our chicken here is precocial, which is a fancy way of saying it's like a pre-programmed survivor, ready to run around almost right away. But on the other end of the spectrum, you have altricial birds, like parrots, that are born completely helpless. And this isn't just a random fact, it's a huge difference in survival strategy that starts right here, inside the egg.
All right, we've got the basics down, so let's crack open that timeline and watch life's blueprint unfold, day by incredible day.
Here's just a quick peek at some of the major milestones. As you'll see, a heart is beating by day 2. By day 8, feathers are showing up. And right before it hatches, the chick absorbs its own lunchbox, the yolk, to power its big escape. The speed of this is just breathtaking.
So this is what it looks like on day 2. See those tiny, delicate red lines? Those are blood vessels. It's the very first visible sign of a circulatory system, and it's spreading out across the yolk to grab all those nutrients. It's life, literally branching out right before our eyes. Now here's the part that just blows my mind. A functioning heart, the engine of life, is up and running in less than 2 days, 44 hours. In humans, this takes weeks. It is an absolutely incredible feat of biological engineering, all prioritized for survival.
Okay, let's jump to day 4. The embryo is now really visible. You can actually make out that dark spot, the eye, and those little buds that are going to become wings and legs. It's already starting to look less like a random cluster of cells and way more like an animal.
Fast forward to day 10, and we are almost halfway there. The shape is unmistakable. I mean, it looks like a chick, all curled up inside its own little world. And at this stage, its skeleton is starting to form, building that framework it's going to need to stand on its own pretty soon.
And here we are at day 14, 2/3 of the way through. The chick is basically fully formed. Now it's just about growing, getting bigger, and filling up more and more of that space inside the shell. This final week is all about bulking up and gaining strength for the toughest part of its journey.
So, that's what nature does. It's amazing. But what happens when we want to replicate this process? Well, we need a little technology to step in and play the role of the mother hen. And that's where the incubator comes in. At its heart, it's just a machine designed to do one thing: perfectly mimic those 5 incubation basics we talked about. It controls the temperature, the turning, the humidity, the air, and the cleanliness.
And these things have evolved a ton. On the left, you've got a basic still air incubator. It just relies on heat rising naturally. But on the right, you have a modern forced draft model. The key difference? It's one simple but totally game-changing piece of technology.
And here it is, the game changer: a fan. Just a simple fan. In a still air incubator, heat can form layers, creating hot spots and cold spots. But by actively circulating the air, a forced draft model creates a perfectly uniform environment. This tiny change makes a massive difference, and you get much more reliable hatches.
We've made it to the final stage. The chick is fully developed. Now, now comes the great escape. And let me tell you, this is the most critical and exhausting part of the whole 21-day journey.
So what kicks it all off? It's not a conscious decision. It's a reflex. As the chick gets bigger, it starts running out of oxygen coming through the shell. Carbon dioxide builds up in its blood, and that involuntarily causes its neck muscles to start twitching and spasming. And that is the beginning of the breakout.
That twitching motion forces the chick's beak to break through a membrane and into the air cell at the big end of the egg. This moment is called the internal pip, and it's when, for the very first time, the chick's lungs inflate, and it takes its first breath of air, all while it's still inside the shell.
Now, to get through that hard outer shell, nature gives it a special temporary tool, the egg tooth. It's this tiny, super sharp spike right on the tip of its beak, and it has one purpose: chip away at the shell. And once its job is done, a day or two after hatching, it just falls off. How cool is that?
So fueled by its first real breaths and armed with its egg tooth, the chick starts this long, slow process of pecking and turning and pushing. It can take hours, sometimes even a full day. But eventually, with one final mighty kick, it breaks free. Exhausted, wet, but alive.
And that brings us full circle, from a single fertilized cell to a fully formed chick in just 21 days. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other incredible journeys like this are unfolding, hidden in plain sight all around us every single day?